Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Confession. Story 1. I found an infinite money glitch and have been stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Now that awards are removed from Reddit, I figured it would be good to confess to my devious acts of these last couple months. A while ago I made a comment that someone liked so much, they gave it a gold award, which then granted me access to none other than r/lounge. So I'm looking through and thinking to myself, hey, pretty chill sub. It's probably full of Discord mods that are overweight, but at least they are nice and civil. However, I come to notice a pattern. Since r/lounge was filled with Reddit premium members, meaning they had a monthly supply of Reddit coins, meaning they had more means and more frequency of awarding posts that they enjoy. I realized this because a majority of the posts in r/lounge went something a little like this: got accepted into university. I can't wait to make new friends and pursue a career that I've been waiting all my life to be involved in. Or it went something like I just got employed at a company I have been aiming at for years now, and I finally did it. I am so hyped. Simple posts like these received at the very least a Platinum award or multiple gold awards. And that's the minimum. Meaning most of these posts got way more than that. So I came up with a plan. I figured since all of the hot posts of every single day are simple, wholesome, and entertaining little stories, I decided to go full writer's mode and come up with some of the most wholesome and entertaining stories I could. My hypothesis was that I would be at least getting several gold awards or platinum. It turned out my hypothesis was correct. My first post was a story about how I was walking on the beach and saved a little boy from drowning and described it in a very heroic way. I received tons of gold, platinums, coin gifts, you name it. By the first post alone, I was rich. I had figured out a way to cheat the system. Months pass by and I do the same thing every other week. I make a post with a story that presents me in a heroic way, get a shit ton of awards, let the post sit for a week or two, and then delete it. Rinse and repeat. I got accepted into Harvard. I saved a man's life by convincing him not to jump off of the bridge. Money was coming in. I was drowning in coins. I found legit actual infinite money glitch. I did the math and the awards I received were approximately worth around a few $100s. What did I do with all these coins I earned? Well, I just blessed the average Joe with a gold or platinum if they made a comment I liked. I'm the reason the population of r/lounge grew by mostly temporary members. TDLR, found an actual infinite money glitch and it's not an over-exaggeration. Edit, to everyone saying I didn't make actual money, I know this. Stop ruining the fun, man. Story 2. I used to steal coffee from Starbucks. A couple years ago I downloaded the Starbucks app and signed up for the membership to save my card and orders and such. After signing up, you get a coupon in your email for a free coffee of any make/size. At first, I didn't know you had to load it to the app after ordering, so when I went up to the counter and ordered my usual venti caramel frappuccino with an extra pump caramel and extra caramel drizzle, I proceeded to show the barista the code I had in the email, and he said, it has to be loaded onto the app. I honestly had no clue how to use the code, but instead of going through the whole process on the app, he just let me have the free drink. I took this knowledge and used it on other Starbucks throughout my town for almost a year. Now, I'm not a total dirtbag because every time I got a free drink, I'd buy a square of lemon cake and leave a couple dollar tip. Smiley face. Story 3. I threw a big rock at someone that caused that person to get surgery and no one knew it was me. For context, I was 11 and at that time, my family and I would always go to my grandparents' house, and when I was there, me and my cousins would always sit at the porch and take walks across the street, but one day a fight was caused between us and my grandparents' neighbors' kids. It was a really big fight to the point everyone started throwing rocks at each other. I almost tripped on a big rock and thought it would be good to use against them, so I threw the rock at one of my grandparents' neighbors' kids and I swear I heard a crack in her head. The kid was crying and I really felt guilty and felt my stomach hurting, but I was immature, to the point I pinned it on one of my cousins and he kept telling everybody he didn't do it and he was constantly getting punished for it and I always feel guilty for what I did every time I remember this. Story 4. I discreetly service other men's wives. Melbourne, Australia. Weirdly, it's the only kink I have and have had for as long as I can remember. I own my own business and can be available whenever during the day. I'm married and have not even revealed this side of me to a living soul. Story 5. R-Confession is looking for new moderators. R/Confession has been rapidly growing over the past few years, with the influx of posts and Story 6. I stole some money from my best friend 10 years ago and I'm paranoid that he found out then and never said anything about it. This is the worst punishment for me. Around 10 years ago when we were in college I stole a few $100s from my best friend, was just knowing each other then. Now the feeling that he knew about it then but didn't say anything is always in the back of my head. I think about it sometimes when we talk. I deserve it 100%. Don't steal, kids. Story 7. 4 months clean but I can say drugs damaged me very bad. So I, 20m, became fucking stupid after being addicted to drugs for 1 year. Weed, cocaine, and MDMA. Can't focus on shit for more than an hour like work etc. My brain just shuts the fuck off and they see me as an idiot at the workplace. I'm tired and mad about it. Everyone said I was such a sharp kid. And now? I feel like my brain ain't braining sometimes. Getting 7 to 15 hours of sleep a week? Just take some coke at the workplace. Getting mad about the tiniest things? Smoke a joint. I didn't want to do it but I did it anyway. But I can tell you, these were the worst moral decisions of my life. I regret it and let me tell you something. The damages last way longer than the addiction. You won't get normal again after being clean for 2 weeks. I'm 4 months clean now and all I can think about are the damages these drugs and lifestyle did to me. I regret it all. Story 8. I've been buying things without permission on my parents' card. I, 15F, have been buying things on my game account without permission, and I feel terrible. I have terrible spending habits. I need to fix them but I don't know how. I feel bad and I know I will be caught but I can stop myself. I spend too much on everything and I don't deserve it. We are well off and it won't affect anyone but I spend too much and don't want to. I feel terrible, it's been for a game called Genshin, I think I'm about to be caught, and I don't want to face the consequences. I'm really scared and feel bad that I even did this in the first place. Edit. I'm going to come clean to my mother after she comes home from work tomorrow. I have a note written out that I will either read or send to her. I don't expect to be unpunished. And I am going to reap what I sow. I will most likely delete a lot of my games because of this. Story 9. Got drunk and talked bad about a former colleague to their investors. Bit of context: I started my career in a pretty junior capacity, wasn't qualified for anything else, in a startup and pretty quickly worked my way up to more responsibility, eventually taking a senior leadership role in the business. There was a foreign guy, let's call him John, who was deployed in from overseas by investors about the same age as me who I felt was sort of gifted a parallel job to the one I had worked pretty hard to earn. Always had a chip on my shoulder since he got to an equivalent position faster, got paid better and most importantly was granted shares in the business when I wasn't. The tech community where I live is pretty small. Over the course of the last 10 years, we've continued to cross paths. We've both done pretty well, and John went on to start a business of his own that got pretty strong investment from prominent VC funds. I've found myself doing investing now and am pretty fortunate to find myself in a senior position with access to investors and influential executives in the region we work in. Last night, I had been meeting for 3 to 4 hours with different VCs for drinks. VCs tend to drink a lot. I'm not the most social person, and I tend to like being a little buzzed to help me socialize/network/relationship build. By about 8:30, I was probably 5 to 6 drinks deep and met another group of investors that were visiting. One of them was from a prominent family office that had ties to John's company and was considering reinvesting. Another was from a regional fund that was also exploring an investment into John's company. The subject of John's company came up, and although I didn't think I was that drunk, I sort of cut loose and talked a lot of shit about John, his work ethic, his business, and business model. In the morning, I realized that this was really unprofessional and not something I think I would have done, or at least not aggressively, if I was sober. While I wasn't lying and these are genuinely my honest opinion on John and his business, I feel terrible that I may have disrupted John's relationship with current and potential investors. Equally importantly, think it was really unfair to punch down on someone behind their back and when they're not in a position to defend themselves. The reality is that John's never explicitly wronged me, I just don't like the guy and I abused my platform to talk badly of him. I honestly hope my opinion matters little to these people, if only so that it doesn't affect John's reputation too badly, and it doesn't hurt his business or the many people they employ. I am also close friends with some of John's early investors and supporters. I know that if word gets around about what I said, it would almost certainly badly damage my relationship with these dear friends that are closely involved in John's business. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time I've been loose-lipped when drunk and said something I regretted, unfortunately also not the first time in a professional setting. I just want to be a better, more positive person. I want to feel like I can be successful without tearing other people down. I'm going to try to slow down on my drinking, maybe even stop for a while, and try to keep this in my head going forward. Thanks for reading if you made it this far. Story 10. Project Gateway survivor looking for answers from others. Figured out I'm in a government program since birth. Project Gateway is the name of it. It is ran and backed by the CIA and supposedly shut down, and my last facility I was in called Gateway still operates to this day, so I doubt they have stopped. If anyone is familiar with this, then leave a comment or question, I'd be happy to answer best I can. I'm wanting to compare life experience with anyone who was in a rehab called Gateway in Illinois, preferably mid-90s. Story 11. I lied about the double chocolate chunk cookies. One time I had cooked, and after my parents made cookies. I didn't know they were making cookies and I thought I forgot to turn the oven off. I turned it off. Turns out that I turned it off at the perfect time. The cookies were delicious, even after 3 hours in the oven. My mom thinks that it was because she set a timer on them. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.